All right, welcome everyone. Today we're taking a deep dive into some listener-submitted words.
Oh, this should be fun.
Yeah, and it's always exciting to see what words people are curious about.
It really is. Gives you a glimpse into how people are using language.
Exactly. And for today we've got four words to explore: bants, to make up, soliloquy, and narked.
Interesting mix.
I know, right? Some slang, some drama, some good old Britishisms.
Looks like we'll be covering a lot of ground.
Oh, absolutely. So, should we just jump right in?
Let's do it.
Okay, great. Let's start with bants, which I think most people associate with, well, British slang. But it's more than just joking around, right?
Oh, yeah, it definitely goes deeper than that. Bants has this playful, teasing kind of humor to it, a lot of self-deprecation and irony.
Yeah. Like you're not just making fun of someone, you're kind of poking fun at yourselves too.
Exactly. It's about bonding with friends.
Like it strengthens the connections somehow through the cheesing.
Exactly. A sort of shared understanding. You can even see it as a way of navigating social hierarchies, actually.
Oh, interesting. Especially in British culture. Like instead of being overly formal, you can use a bit of bants to break the ice.
Yeah, diffuse tension, establish a sense of camaraderie, all with a bit of cheeky bants.
Like Emma and Tim, from accounting.
Mhm.
Their lunchtime bants always have everyone cracking up, but underneath it all, you can tell there's real affection there.
Perfect example. It thrives on that kind of shared understanding, like you said, that trust that it's all in good fun.
So it's not just the words themselves, it's how you say it, who you say it with. Like bants has this whole social dynamic built into it,
Absolutely. A lot packed into one little word, huh?
for sure. And speaking of words with hidden depths,
Hmm.
how about to make up? We all know it means to reconcile after a disagreement, but I feel like there's something more to it emotionally.
Oh, I completely agree. It's not as simple as just saying sorry. There's this element of vulnerability.
You have to swallow your pride a bit.
Yeah, you have to put the relationship first. And it's not just about personal relationships either.
Really?
Yeah, you can use it in broader contexts. Like, historically, think of the Treaty of Versailles after World War One. You could say it was an attempt to make up for the devastation.
Wow, I never thought of it that way. But yeah, it was about trying to rebuild after immense damage.
And the word itself reflects that, the emotional and political weight.
So using makeup suggests that something was really broken, but there's this desire to heal the rift, to fix things.
And that process of making up often involves introspection, a commitment to change. It's not just patching things up, it's rebuilding.
I see what you mean. Like a simple reconcile doesn't quite capture that whole process.
Not at all. Now, for something completely different, let's jump into the dramatic world of soliloquy.
Ah, yes, the famous to be or not to be speech from Hamlet. That's a soliloquy, right? When a character is basically revealing their inner turmoil.
Exactly. They're talking directly to the audience, sharing their deepest thoughts and feelings.
It's like we get a glimpse into their mind that we wouldn't get through regular dialogue.
Precisely. And, even though it's a theatrical device, it's also a powerful metaphor for how we grapple with our own thoughts and emotions.
Oh, I like that. Like we all have those internal monologues where we're trying to make sense of things, even if we're not on a stage.
Right. We might not call it a soliloquy, but we're essentially doing the same thing, trying to understand ourselves, figure things out.
So even in our everyday lives, we're kind of giving our own private soliloquies as we navigate the ups and downs.
Absolutely. It's a universal human experience.
And speaking of navigating ups and downs, our final word, narked, takes us back to British English. But this time, it's about expressing annoyance.
Yes, but narked is a bit more specific than just a simple "I'm annoyed." It's got this British grumbling quality to it, often with a hint of dry humor.
So it's like acknowledging the irritation, but not letting it completely ruin your day.
Yeah, it's about keeping a stiff upper lip,
Yeah.
a very British way of dealing with things.
Like when your train's delayed and you let out a sigh and mutter, "Oh, brilliant, just what I needed." But you're already thinking about how to use the extra time.
That's perfect. It's that resilience, that acceptance of life's little annoyances.
So even in negativity, there's a sense of humor and a coping mechanism built in. Fascinating how much we can learn from just one word.
It really is, and we're just getting started. It's amazing, isn't it? How bants, to make up, soliloquy, and narked, they each tell us something about the cultures they come from, you know?
Yeah, and the different ways people think and communicate. Like we've got humor and reconciliation and introspection and even a bit of resilience all in just 4 words.
It really is remarkable, and it's just a tiny glimpse into the vast world of language. Like, imagine all the other words out there, each with their own unique story to tell.
It really makes you realize how much language is constantly evolving.
Right. It's always adapting, reflecting how we interact with each other and the world around us.
And, speaking of how words function, I feel like we've been dancing around a pretty important concept.
Oh, I know what you're getting at. Connotation. Right.
Yeah, connotation. It's like the emotional baggage a word carries, the shades of meaning that go beyond just the dictionary definition.
Exactly. It's the subtle differences that can really make or break how a word is perceived and used.
Like house and home both describe a place where people live, but home just feels so much warmer and more personal.
Precisely. And that difference in connotation is key. It's almost like a secret code embedded within language.
So it's not just about the information, it's about the feelings and attitudes that are being conveyed.
Absolutely. And it plays a huge role in how we understand and interpret language, especially with these 4 words we've been exploring.
So how does this secret code, this connotation, work with bants, for example?
Well, think about it. It's playful teasing, sure. But there's this underlying connotation of a specific kind of relationship, one built on trust, shared experiences,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah, it wouldn't work with just anyone. Imagine trying to bants with your boss or a stranger on the street,
Exactly. It would probably come across as awkward or even offensive.
because it requires that intimacy,
Yeah.
right? That unspoken agreement that you're both in on the joke.
Yeah, it's all about that shared understanding. And then we
Oh.
have to make, like, if you had a serious disagreement with someone, would you simply say, we reconciled?
Hmm. No, it wouldn't feel right. Made up just sounds more personal, more genuine.
Exactly. It acknowledges that effort involved, that vulnerability and desire to move forward.
And soliloquy, it's not just any old speech, is it? There's a sense of raw honesty there.
Right. It's like a direct line to the character's soul. Think about Hamlet's to be or not to be. It's not just philosophical, it's deeply emotional.
Like we're getting this privileged access to their innermost thoughts and feelings.
And lastly, narked. It's got that distinctly British mix of humor and, well, almost a sort of acceptance.
Yeah, like it's annoying, but you're not going to let it get you down.
It's about having that stiff upper lip, carrying on despite the inconvenience.
There's a certain charm to it, I think, a very British way of dealing with things.
Oh, absolutely. And it all comes back to connotation. It's how cultural values and attitudes are embedded in the language itself.
So by understanding these hidden layers of meaning, we can really unlock a deeper understanding of language, culture, and even the human experience.
It's fascinating, isn't it, how much we can learn just by paying attention to the words we use.
Well, we've certainly done a lot of deep diving today, from bants to makeup, soliloquy, and even narked. It's been quite a journey.
And we didn't just scratch the surface, we really dug into those connotations, those hidden meanings that give these words their depth.
It's amazing how much richness and nuance there is to language when you really start to pay attention.
Absolutely. And I think, this whole idea of connotation, it's not just an academic exercise. It's something we can all use in our everyday lives.
Oh, for sure. Like now I'm thinking about how I can use these words to be more expressive, to create different effects in my own conversations.
And that's the beauty of it. By understanding connotation, you can really become a more skillful communicator. You can choose words that resonate on a deeper level, add nuance to your message.
It's like having this secret weapon, this whole toolkit for crafting language with more intention and impact.
Exactly. And the best part is, this exploration doesn't end here. I mean, think about it. Every word in the English language has its own history, its own connotations, just waiting to be discovered.
It's almost like a treasure hunt. And it's all around us every day.
I'd really encourage everyone listening to pay close attention to the language they encounter in books, movies, even just in casual conversation. Notice how words evoke feelings, create different effects. Don't just absorb the information. Really engage with the language itself.
I love that. It's like turning everyday life into a linguistic adventure.
And as you become more aware of these nuances, you'll not only become a better communicator, but you'll also gain a deeper appreciation for the power of language. The power to shape our thoughts, our emotions, our relationships.
That's a beautiful way to put it. It reminds us that language isn't just about conveying information. It's about connecting with each other, building understanding, expressing the full range of human experience.
Beautifully said. So everyone go out there, explore the world of words, and never stop making those linguistic discoveries.
And until next time, keep diving deep.